Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. Xiao Yang Ge. The Xiao Wangue is an initial 4-star elite Doshing. He is extremely strong and it will not be easy dealing with him. Zun by the side opened her mouth and softly spoke after hearing Xiao Yang's words. I know my limits. Xiao Yang slightly smiled. An initial 4-star Doshing was indeed a little troublesome for his current self to deal with, but if he was able to successfully obtain the purifying demonic lotus flame and refine it, it would be an extremely easy matter for him to kill Xiao Wangue. Zun did not say anything more after hearing Xiao Yang put it this way. She was aware that Xiao Yang was usually calm, and would not easily do anything where he did not have the confidence to succeed. Xiao Wangue's group's appearance in the sky had naturally attracted many pairs of eyes. The Xiao clan could be considered a unique ancient clan. Most of its clan members were alchemists, and all of them possessed outstanding pill refinement talent. Thus, the Xiao clan created a pill refinement atmosphere. If the ancient clans appear more often in the Central Plains, the reputation of the Pill Tower would end up suffering because of the Xiao clan. After all, if one were to make a true comparison, the inheritance of the Xiao clan was more complete. Regardless of how one looked at it, the semi-public nature Pill Tower lacked far behind the Xiao clan. However, the rules of the Xiao clan were extremely severe. Only their own clan members could learn their alchemist skills. Any outsider who learned them would end up attracting their murderous intent. This rule had also limited the development of the Xiao clan, but this was something that could not be helped. The ancient clans felt arrogant when it came to ordinary people. Xiao Wangue's group, who had appeared in the sky, slowly swept their eyes around them. Their eyes paused on the Hall of Souls trio some distance away as they frowned. The Hun clan was the most mysterious clan among the 8 ancient clans. The remaining few clans were relatively afraid of them. If one were to compare, the Hun clan was the clan with the longest inheritance. Has the Jiu clan also come? Xiao Wangue's eyes shifted away from the chief of the Hall of Souls group and suddenly paused onto Zun's group. His eyes moved and finally collided with Yao Lao, who was staring at him. Yao Chen, it is unexpected that someone like you, who was abandoned, has managed to reach the Doshing class. This really surprises me. Xiao Wangue's eyes clashed with Yao Lao's eyes. He was slightly startled before he faintly smiled and made a comment. It is all thanks to you that I have been able to preserve this old life of mine. Yao Lao's eyes were a little dark and solemn as he replied. Xiao Wangue calmly smiled when he saw Yao Lao's dark and solemn eyes. Although a 1-star Doshing was powerful, it was still nothing in front of him. He is that abandoned person, Yao Chen. It seems that the clan once gave him an opportunity to return, but he stubbornly rejected it. That handsome man's long eyebrow was slightly lifted after hearing Yao Wangue's voice. His eyes swept over Yao Lao as a harsh arc was lifted onto his thin lips. Yao Lao rejecting the offer to return to the clan had spread throughout the clan back then. That handsome man had even coldly laughed and said that this person did not know what was good for him. It was natural that he would ridicule Yao Lao now that they had met. Ha ha, after roaming around outside and making a name for himself, it is natural that one would think that one is extremely capable, causing one to end up becoming arrogant. Yao Wangue slightly smiled. His voice was steady, but it was not dislikable. The somewhat unfriendly atmosphere that had suddenly appeared was detected by those experts around. Many pairs of eyes were turned over, but no one opened their mouths to say anything. The Yao clan was an ancient clan. An ordinary expert would not dare to offend them. Hence, many people merely adopted the attitude of watching a show. There would coincidentally be some liveliness before the best opportunity to enter the space. Yao Lao's body trembled slightly after hearing the soft laughter that was emitted from those two. His character was usually quite calm, but being expelled from the Yao clan back then had always been the deepest thorn in his heart. His many years of self-cultivation would completely disappear each time this thorn was pulled, especially if the one messing with his thorn was the main culprit, who had caused him to leave the clan back then. His soul has only reached the advanced heavenly state after training for so many years. This talent is only ordinary. Since he gave up the opportunity to return to the clan back then, there is no longer a need for the clan to remember this person in the future. Yao Qian shrugged his shoulders after seeing Yao Lao's green face. He felt that the whole situation was meaningless. He uttered one last sentence before being too lazy to continue. Yao Wangue laughed and immediately nodded. Despite training for so many years, your soul still remains at the advanced heavenly state. This name of being the top person among the Yao clan is really nothing. Xiao Yang gently patted Yao Lao's shoulder before he turned his head to look at Yao Qian. A smile appeared on his face as he softly remarked. Yao Qian and Yao Wangue were startled after hearing this person suddenly intervening. They shifted their eyes to Xiao Yang. Who do you think you are? Do you think you have the right to criticize me? Yao Qian stared at Xiao Yang. A cold arc rose on his face as he spoke. Xiao Yang, Yao Qian's disciple. Xiao Yang grinned, cupped his hands together, and replied. Oh? You are the pill-gathering champion of the Pill Tower, Xiao Yang. The arc on Yao Qian's face immediately became deeper upon hearing this. His eyes looked up and down Xiao Yang. He spoke in an indifferent voice. The so-called pill gathering is merely a group of useless people competing. Such a gathering can only be described as nothing in my Yao clan. In terms of position within the Yao clan, even Yao Chen does not have the qualification to speak to me in such a way. You should be lucky that Yao Chen is not a member of my Yao clan. Of course, since you cannot control your mouth, you should pay some price for the words you have uttered. That handsome face immediately turned icy-cold after the final word was uttered from Yao Qian's mouth. He suddenly stepped forward as an unusually vast and mighty spiritual strength surged. It became 100-foot large wave with a terrifying might as it violently swept toward Xiao Yang in a wild manner. Today, I shall help Yao Chen teach you, his disciple. Xiao Yang merely shook his head as he glanced at the giant spiritual wave that came sweeping over with a rumbling sound. The smile on his face was quietly withdrawn at this moment. After which, he lifted his hand in front of many pairs of eyes and gently clenched the empty space in front of him. Crack! Not even a hint of a do-chi fluctuation appeared as he did so. However, that majestic spiritual wave instantly collapsed in front of many pairs of stunned eyes after Xiao Yang clenched his hand. A one-star Do-shing with an advanced heavenly state soul dares to represent my teacher in teaching me. You really do not know your limits. A dense smile rose on Xiao Yang's face after he easily shattered the large spiritual wave with its shocking momentum by using just a palm. He took a step forward and clenched his fist. After which, he threw a punch at Yao Qian, whose face had revealed shock from a distance. Bang! Xiao Yang threw a punch forward, and a 1,000-foot large spiritual fist was suddenly formed in the sky. There was a mysterious crystal layer covering that fist. At a glance, it looked as though it was real. An extremely powerful spiritual pressure suddenly erupted in all directions, with Xiao Yang in the middle the moment he threw his punch forward. Perfect heavenly state. Many shocking noises reverberated within the sky after this powerful spiritual pressure was felt. Numerous pairs of eyes were filled with shock as they looked at the skinny figure in the sky. They would never have imagined that Xiao Yang was able to reach the perfect heavenly state at such a young age. How can this be possible? Yao Qian's, Yao Wangue's, and Yao Ling's expressions drastically changed at this moment. The perfect heavenly state was a level that even Yao Wangue had not achieved. How was it possible for Xiao Yang to reach this level at his age? The spiritual fist was extremely fast. The moment it was formed, it was already around 10 feet from Yao Qian. The terrifying spiritual pressure violently smashed toward Yao Qian's head. If this fist struck, it would cause Yao Qian's soul to suffer a serious injury. Young fellow, how dare you? Yao Wangue's expression sank after seeing that it was impossible for Yao Qian to dodge Xiao Yang's attack. He grabbed Yao Qian and tossed him back. At the same time, Do Qi suddenly surged from his body as his fist violently smashed against that spiritual punch. Bang! Yao Wangui took a step back after the two collided, but the spiritual fist in front of him had been forcefully received by him. A 4-star Do Xing's strength was indeed extremely incredible. Elder Wangui, kill this brat. Yao Tian's expression alternated between green and white as he stood back. He had not expected to not be able to last one strike in Xiao Yang's hands. Moreover, this had occurred in public. Those strange gazes cast his way were like knives that ruthlessly cut his body. Both of his eyes turned bright red as he furiously cried out. However, Yao Tian's furious cry had just sounded when the space in front of him fluctuated. An invisible spiritual strength was swiftly gathered. Within the blink of an eye, a figure appeared in front of him in a ghost-like fashion. That appearance was surprisingly another Xiao Yang. Spiritual avatar. Yao Tian's eyes shrank after seeing this spiritual avatar appearing in a strange fashion. The Do Qi within his body reflexively surged out. At this moment, even Yao Wangui was unable to come to his aid. However, the spiritual avatar in front of Yao Tian coldly smiled and raised his hand as the Do Qi spluttered out of his body. A slap was thrown before a clear sound suddenly reverberated in front of many strange looks. Useless being! How dare you act arrogantly in front of my teacher? Treat this slap as a little lesson. Yao Tian's body stiffened as he stood in the sky. His eyes were filled with disbelief. At this moment, there was an extremely glaring blood-red handprint on his face. Traces of blood slowly flowed out of the corner of his mouth. The entire sky became completely silent at this moment. Many pairs of eyes had watched what had just occurred with great shock. Their eyes shifted toward Xiao Yang in the distance, whose lips had lifted into a smile. A chill surged within their hearts. The ancient clans were most concerned about their pride, yet Xiao Yang had ruthlessly slapped Yao Tian in front of so many people. This humiliation was a greater insult than just simply killing him. You dare strike me? The silence continued for a moment before Yao Tian finally recovered from his shock. His eyes quickly turned bright red. He glared at the spiritual avatar in front of him with crazy and savage-eyed. An earth-like brown flame suddenly surged out of his body. After which, it formed a huge turtle-like object amid an earth-shaking roar. This giant turtle was covered in sharp fire thorns. Its ferocious mouth was also covered with sharp blade-like teeth. Turtle Spiritual Earth Flame, ranked 13th on the Heavenly Flame ranking. It is unexpected that such a heavenly flame is actually in your hands. The face of Xiao Yang's spiritual avatar revealed a surprised expression as he watched the enormous fire turtle form above Yao Tian's head. This Yao clan did indeed possess some heavenly flames. Go and die. Yao Tian's face became more ferocious after the fire spirit was formed. A furious roar sounded. That enormous fire spirit moved its limbs. That giant tail, which was covered with fire thorns, unceremoniously swung towards Xiao Yang's head. That sound of rushing wind immediately started to whistle. A small trick. Xiao Yang's spiritual avatar coldly laughed upon seeing attack. His body swayed and a 10,000-foot large fire dragon formed in the sky. The dragon tail was randomly swung and struck the fire spirit, causing the flame on the turtle's body to dim. The turtle immediately emitted a cry and flew back, before smashing into Yao Tian's body. Yao Tian's face paled after the fire spirit was defeated. He spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. The turtle spiritual earth flame was merely ranked 13th. On the other hand, Xiao Yang's heavenly flame could fight against a heavenly flame ranked in the top 6 after having merged 5 types of heavenly flames. Additionally, Xiao Yang's spiritual strength far surpassed Yao Tian. It was an extremely easy matter to defeat the other party. Bastard! The fight between Xiao Yang and Yao Tian merely lasted for a split second. By the time Yao Wangui recovered, he could only watch as Yao Tian suffered a serious injury. His expression quickly changed as he let out a furious roar. With a swoosh sound, his body appeared in front of that spiritual avatar. His large hand was violently extended and the space in front of him collapsed. Xiao Yang did not intend to clash head-on with Yao Wangui. His spiritual body burst apart. It separated into waves of spiritual strength that eventually returned to Xiao Yang's body. Xiao Yang, you are seeking death. Yao Wangui suddenly lifted his head after his strike missed. His eyes were dense as he glared at Xiao Yang in the distance. Murderous intent surged within his heart. His body moved, and he appeared in front of Xiao Yang. A punch was thrown at the same time. Humph, old ghost, you are really full of nonsense. Do you really think that you are the biggest here? Yang, who was beside Xiao Yang, looked a little down after seeing Yao Wangui attack again. She took a step forward and blocked Xiao Yang. Her hand was clenched as it was swung forward. A large bright golden dragon roared and rose from her palm. It heavily collided with Yao Wangui. Bang! The clash between two elite 4-star Doshings was extremely terrifying. The space where the two fists collided collapsed. Everything within a 1,000-foot radius turned dark black. A powerful ripple swept apart as Yao Wangui's body flew back. His feet staggered over a dozen steps back in the sky before he managed to stabilize his body. His eyes stared at Yang as he spoke with a gloomy expression, "Ancient Void Dragon." Yang took 2 to 3 steps back before stabilizing herself. In terms of a head-on clash, she had never been afraid of anyone who was the same level as her. The body of an ancient void dragon was incomparably strong along with her powerful dragon phoenix constitution. Although her level was the same as Yao Wangui, it was not completely impossible for Yang to finish him off. An old fellow who is going overboard. Yang randomly patted her hands and coldly laughed. You? Yao Wangui became furious upon hearing her statement. His face turned green in the process. He was about to furiously yell when Yao Ling, who had been quiet, suddenly pulled him back and shook her head. Elder Wangui, this is merely a temperamental clash between young people. Given your status, you have lowered yourself by intervening. Zana also slightly smiled at this moment as she suddenly said, I think that everyone should take a step back. Your aim is likely not to come here specifically to fight with another. Why do you wish to waste your energy for no reason? Why? Does the Jiu clan also intend to help this person? Yao Wangui coldly demanded. His face twitched after hearing Zun speak up for Xiao Yang. Yao Wangui, my clan's young miss is only stating facts. You should not try to be overly annoying. The blue-robed old man behind Zun frowned and spoke in a faint voice. Humph. Yao Wangui could only swing his sleeves in anger after noticing who had spoken. He was naturally acquainted with Jiu Nanhai, who was stronger than him. If they choose to help Xiao Yang with Yang, their 3-man team would likely suffer a great loss. Hence, he could only angrily let out a cold snort. He shifted his eyes to Xiao Yang and Yao Lao before laughing in a cold voice, the both of you should not be happy. Although my Yao clan does things with a low profile, you will not end up in a good state if you attempt to jump over our heads. Xiao Yang smiled but remained non-committal. Yao Wangui, it is a tragedy that someone like you is an authority within the Yao clan. I will naturally visit the Yao clan in the future. I do not feel any attachment to the Yao clan, but I will carve the names of my parents into the clan tablet. Yao Lao's eyes glared at Yao Wangui as he slowly stated. The clan's tablet will not leave have any mediocre names. Forget about your parents. Even you do not have the qualification to carve your name on it. You should give up on this intention as soon as possible. Yao Wangui merely mocked Yao Lao after hearing those words. Old bastard, do you really think that I cannot finish you off today? Xiao Yang's expression was dark and gloomy. His voice contained a killing intent which chilled one's heart. He viewed Yao Lao like a father. One of the things he could not accept in his heart was other people humiliating Yao Lao, yet this Yao Wangui's mouth was filled with dirty words for Yao Lao. The eyes of Yang by the side flickered, after having sensed the killing desire in Xiao Yang's heart. Both of her eyes stared at Yao Wangui. If Yao Wangui dared to utter any inappropriate word, she would immediately attack. You? Yao Wangui's face turned green after hearing Xiao Yang call him an old bastard. He was just about to angrily curse before he backed down because of Zi Yang's fierce eyes. Without realizing it, their three-man team had fallen into a disadvantage today. He might be able to hold Zi Yang back, but with Xiao Yang's frightening strength, it would likely not be too much of a problem for him to kill both Yao Qian and Yao Ling. The both of them were pillars of the Yao clan. He would definitely be punished after returning to the clan if anything happened to them. Yao Wangui could only swallow the curse in his mouth after having realized such a conundrum. His eyes were sinister as they swept over Xiao Yang and Yao Lao. Finally, he swung his sleeve and led both Yao Qian and Yao Ling far away. Everyone softly exhaled after watching Yao Wangui miserably withdraw. Their eyes were a little surprised as they looked at Xiao Yang's group. They had not expected an ancient clan, like the Yao clan, to suffer a loss in their hands. Yao Lao's body slowly relaxed the moment Yao Wangui and the other two members of the Yao clan withdrew. His expression also recovered. He gently patted Xiao Yang's shoulder and wanted to utter something, but he merely sighed in a pleased manner in the end. Back then, he had protected Xiao Yang under his wing and prevented him from being harmed. At this moment, this position had quietly changed. His heart felt a complicated feeling as he thought about this. Teacher, I will accompany you to the Yao clan once we subdue the purifying demonic lotus flame. Xiao Yang looked at the sighing Yao Lao and softly promised. He was worried that Yao Lao would head to the Yao clan alone. Yao Lao hesitated for a moment before he smiled and nodded. His smile was warm and pleased. This farce ended when Yao Wangui's group withdrew after suffering a setback. The strength that Xiao Yang's group had displayed caught the eyes of many experts and factions, especially Zi Yang. When the ancient Void Dragon tribe was powerful, it was not the least bit inferior to the Jiyu clan, Hun clan, or any other super factions. After the end of the farce, everyone once again placed their attention on the distant broken space. The cream-white light continued to pour out unceasingly like liquid. The desert below had turned into a creamy lava. Some bubbles occasionally rolled out from it as the bubbles charged out of many extremely hot air flows. Bang bang. This wait once again continued for around 3 hours or so. That broken space had also expanded from dozens of feet into hundreds of feet. It was vaguely possible to hear some strange sounds being emitted from within that space. The shattered space swelled before reaching a couple of thousand feet in size. It finally came to a gradual stop, and a cream-colored light circle vaguely formed in the shattered space. All the experts present suddenly opened their eyes the moment the light circle was formed. They could sense the temperature of this area raise by 100 times as much in an instant. Zana also opened her eyes at this moment. Her pretty eyes looked at Xiao Yang as she softly said, "It is time to get moving." Her words seemed to possess a demonic strength. They had just been emitted from her mouth, when the surrounding space immediately emitted the hurried sound of rushing wind. Numerous bodies with powerful auras rushed out of the distant sky with lightning-like speed. They collided with the cream-colored light circle with a whistle. Xiao Yang suddenly stood up upon seeing everyone head out. A great heat leaped within his black pupils. Purifying demonic lotus flame, I have finally waited until this day. Xiao Yang Gege, you should ask anyone in this group of yours who does not possess the strength of a Banshing to leave. Numbers are not important in trying to subdue the purifying demonic lotus flame. Zana turned her head and spoke to Xiao Yang after seeing many human figures rush into that shattered space like a swarm of locusts. Xiao Yang nodded. Although these elite individuals from the Alliance could be considered top-tier experts, many of them were covered in perspiration, just outside of this realm. Some of them even had to unleash their Do Qi to resist the high temperature. If they were to recklessly charge into that space, less than 10 of them would make it out alive. All of you should head back to the Alliance first and guard it well. Yao Lao turned around and cried out in a deep voice. Understood. Upon hearing this, many experts from the Alliance immediately sighed in relief, appearing as though they had been relieved of a great burden. They hurriedly replied before withdrawing in a quick and orderly formation. Although it was somewhat regretful that they wouldn't enter the realm and catch a glimpse of the demonic flame, it was better to be regretful than to lose one's life. With their strength, they were clearly aware of their chances of survival if they were to barge into the extremely dangerous space. Ha ha, brother Xiao Yang, we will enter first. Huxian faced Xiao Yang and cupped his hands together from a short distance away. After which, he moved with Elder Huiyao, who was leading the group. Their group took the lead to hurry into that cream-white light cluster. Finally, they disappeared. We should also get moving. Xiao Yang clenched his hand and smiled in a somewhat anxious manner, after seeing those experts from the ancient clans rush into the light circle. Xiao Yang Ge. It is rumored that the purifying demonic lotus flame uses a person's emotion as a source to form the demonic flame within one's body. The moment the demonic flame appears in one's body, even one's soul will be incinerated into nothing. Hence, regardless of what you see after entering the space, you must try your best to remain calm without feeling any joy or sadness. You must try to control all emotions. Otherwise, these emotions will attract the demonic flame. Zana nodded and reminded everyone in a solemn voice. Oh? The expressions of Xiao Yang and Yao Lao changed upon hearing this rumor. The purifying demonic lotus flame was far too mysterious. Even they, as alchemists, did not really know many details about it. It was unexpected that this purifying demonic lotus flame was able to use human emotions as a seed. Such a mysterious method was indeed worthy of its demonic flame reputation. Understood. Everyone should be careful. Let's get moving. Xiao Yang slowly exhaled and ceased uttering any other unnecessary words. He waved his sleeve and his body took the lead to charge forward. He turned into a ray of light that rushed into the light circle with lightning-like speed. Zana and the rest followed close behind him. Xiao Yang's skin suddenly became dry as he charged into the cluster of light. Passing through the light circle was an instantaneous task. After his eyes were momentarily dazzled by the light, he discovered that the surrounding space had changed. What a terrifying temperature! The first impression that the transformed space gave Xiao Yang was that it was like a furnace. His eyes swiftly swept around him, only to discover that he was currently in a mysterious space with the cream-white flames all around. Even someone like him, who had swallowed 5 types of heavenly flames, felt unusually hot in this place covered by cream-white flames. This heat was emitted by the cream-white flames. A thought passed through Xiao Yang's heart, as the heavenly flame within his body slowly surged out of him before wrapping around his entire body. Only then did the heat that caused one's blood to boil significantly weaken. Is this the realm where the purifying demonic lotus flame is sealed? Where is Zano and the rest? Xiao Yang frowned as he looked at his empty surroundings. He should have entered this realm with Zun and the rest. Why was it that he was the only one in this place? Xiao Yang tightly knit his brow. His body was suspended in the air, and did not dare to make even the slightest contact with the cream-white flames. These flames might not be the actual body of the purifying demonic lotus flame, but one should still not underestimate them. Moreover, this entire space was filled with mystery. This calmness hid a murderous intent, so it was always best to be a little careful. I should leave this place first. Xiao Yang's eyes swept around him. His toes pressed on empty space. Only then did his body shoot forward. This area made him somewhat uneasy, but first, he needed to find the others. Xiao Yang's body swiftly rushed through the sea of fire. The high temperature that saturated the space caused his skin to emit waves of piercing pain, despite having the protection of his heavenly flame. Even the air in this realm was steaming. An indescribable desolation covered the entire land. Xiao Yang flew forward for nearly 10 minutes, but his expression gradually became ugly as he continued to fly. There was still no end to the sea of fire even after this 10-minute journey, and he had not come across any other human figures. It was as though this sea of fire was endless. Just how large is this realm? Could it be that we have been sent to a different area when we entered this space? However, I did not seem to feel any sign of being sent anywhere when I enter. Xiao Yang tightly knit his brows. His face was filled with his thoughts and an expression of loss. There is a voice in front. A soft voice was suddenly emitted from a short distance in front of Xiao Yang while he was thinking things over. He immediately felt a slight joy in his heart. His body moved as he hurried forward, but he had just traveled for some distance when he suddenly stopped. At this moment, there were 3 black figures standing in the air a short distance in front of him. Their eyes revealed sinister expressions that were filled with a ridicule while they looked at him. Chief of the Hall of Souls. The 3 black figures were the Hall of Souls trio from outside. It was unexpected that they would actually appear in this place. Moreover, from the looks of their appearances, it seemed that they had been waiting for Xiao Yang. "Why are all of you here?" Xiao Yang demanded in a deep voice as he stared at the 3 of them. The Do Qi within his body quietly began to circulate as he asked. "Nothing. We are here to let you have a look at something." The chief of the Hall of Souls slightly smiled. Waves of black fog suddenly surged out of his palm. The black fog churned before turning into a somewhat illusory figure. Xiao Yang felt as though he was struck by lightning as he looked at the figure. He muttered, "Father." Xiao Zhon. The person who had been pulled out by the chief of the Hall of Souls was surprisingly Xiao Zhon. However, Xiao Zhon was only a spiritual body. Yang. Xiao Zhon's body trembled after hearing Xiao Yang's voice. He lifted his head, and his eyes looked at the skinny young man with disbelief. "Xiao Yang, there is only one fate for opposing our Hall of Souls. The destruction of your clan." An indifferent smile was lifted on the face of the chief of the Hall of Souls. His hand slowly landed on Xiao Zhon's head as he said in a faint voice, "Since we are about to capture you, there is no use for him to continue living." "Stop." Xiao Yang's eyes suddenly turned blood red after hearing the chief of the Hall of Souls' voice. The chief of the Hall of Souls coldly laughed when he heard Xiao Yang's roar. He clenched his hand and Xiao Zhon's soul was forcefully shattered. It turned into light particles that scattered apart before they vanished because of the terrifyingly high temperature. Xiao Yang was dull as he watched the light spots disappear. His body trembled. A terrifying murderous intent wildly swept out from deep within his heart. A strange smile was lifted on the face of the chief of the Hall of Souls after having sensed that wild murderous intent in Xiao Yang's heart. Both of Xiao Yang's eyes turned blood red. His breathing became as heavy as a bull while he stared intently at the chief of the Hall of Souls. He took a step forward. However, his body stilled immediately as his foot landed. Waves of cream-white flames suddenly erupted from a countless number of pores around his body. The terrifying flame started to wildly rage within his body. Demonic flame. The sudden intense pain emitted from within Xiao Yang's body caused him to regain his sense of reasoning. His heart was immediately startled as he hurriedly lifted his head, only to realize that the Hall of Souls trio had vanished. "This is bad. I have been tricked. Everything here is an illusion to stir one's emotion." This scene caused Xiao Yang to feel startled. He suddenly recovered and finally understood the strangeness of the whole situation. The demonic flame might be powerful, but no one is in control of it. It isn't so easy to incinerate me. Xiao Yang clenched his teeth. His hand seal was rapidly changed as his new heavenly flame, which had been formed from the merger of the 5 types of heavenly flames, began to circulate. It wildly spread to every part of his body. The cream-white flames endured for a moment before beginning to be forced back in defeat an inch at a time, because of the fierce retaliation from the heavenly flame within Xiao Yang's body. Finally, the flames were forced out of Xiao Yang's countless pores. Xiao Yang only sighed in relief after the cream-white flames were forced out of his body. He was covered in perspiration. It was fortunate that his resistance to fire was quite high and that his physical body was strong. Otherwise, this trick would have caused the meridians in his body to turn to dust. It is indeed worthy of being the demonic flame. The illusion it creates is not inferior to that of the Bodhisattva ancient tree. Xiao Yang rubbed his cold sweat away. A thought passed through his heart as the heavenly flame within his body quickly covered his eyes. After the flame surged up, the world in front of him immediately began to change. The cream-white sea of fire vanished. A cream-white fog that was around 100 feet in size replaced it. At this moment, there were dozens of people swiftly flying in the same spot within this fog. The bodies of some of these people had already been surrounded by a cream-white flames. Finally, they turned into ashes amid a miserable screech. Xiao Yang's eyes swiftly swept over this cream-white fog. After which, he understood that those illusions should be caused by this mysterious fog. Teacher. After having swept his eyes around, Xiao Yang paused them on an elderly figure a short distance in front of him. This figure was Yao Lao, but Yao Lao's face was filled with pain. Vague cream-white fire seedlings had even surfaced on his body. Clearly, this was the prelude to being incinerated by the demonic flame. This video will end here.